We'll start it off with all due honor to the Most High. I worship thee through the divine image of my wives. Amen. A lot of times, and I know a lot of guys in law enforcement, a lot of them are friends of mine, that's all they want. That's all they want to know. Let me know ahead of time that you're going to be in my backyard. You're going to be doing some work or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you keep that professional courtesy.
Rapport, right.
Right.
Yeah,
right. You
absolutely.
want that. You want that professional courtesy.
Yes.
So that they're not shocked or off,
Yeah.
knocked off. And they know,
and they're on point. They're like, oh.
Exactly.
Like,
okay, cool. I know what he's doing. I know who he is. I know what's happening. That could save you a lot of headache and a lot of problems. We have to remember, I know the stereotype is that of goons, thugs, and everything else.
Right.
Break those stereotypes. Break those perceptions.
Immediately.
Right. Because those perceptions and those stereotypes are going to save you from a lot of hassle at the end of the day. I can't tell you how many situations I've been in when I've made those phone calls, I've given those heads up, and when they see me, they show me all the respect in the world and my client the respect.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? Because an officer looks at a client, they look at a guy that's in the industry, and if he has somebody professional with him, they automatically treat him with a certain air of respect.
Yes.
If they think he's just walking around with a bunch of dudes that he grew up with, no training.
Sure, they're going to be more on point.
They're going to be more. They're going to be more hostile. They're going to be more hostile. So you want to kind of quell that hostility with the police if you can. Some police are dickheads. There's no getting around it. You can find bad apples in everything. You can find bad actors in everything. So
for sure,
there are going to be some people that can't stand you just at the sight of you. But for those that you do have a professional rapport with, that's going to get you further than those that you don't.
Right.
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 So that's just a little.
And as a professional etiquette, regardless if they like you or don't like you, as a professional etiquette to make it a habit if you're going to a jurisdiction to contact them. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only in your best interest of you and your client.
Yeah.
It's in your best interest of you and your client. Like if you're moving around legally, I preference everything with legal. Now, what we call them in the industry are unicorns, right? I am a unicorn, right? For somebody who's been doing it for so long and who comes from a background that I come from, for me to have a clean criminal record, to be able to do things like that, makes me a unicorn. Right. Right. That doesn't mean I've haven't been in, doesn't mean
secret sauce.
That's the secret sauce. Doesn't mean, right? It doesn't mean that I haven't had my share.
Your fair share of run-ins with the law.
With the law. It just means, you know what I'm saying?
That you were intelligent. Smarter, not harder.
Smarter, not harder.
Smarter, not harder.
Right.
Yeah.
And thank God, we have a father that, that's not going to let those types of things
occur on his watch. Not on his watch.
No, you're going to get the best lawyer.
Best service.
You're going to get the best representation.
You're going to be good.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times, man, sadly, that's what separates. That's what separates people like me and others. It's just that simple, that representation. That intelligent representation that they're not going to let you just get railroaded into some bullshit. Yeah. And, thank God I've been able to get out of my my handful of problems.
Right.
But
that comes with the job. That's the excitement of the job.
Now, I'll give you another tip. Now, I'm giving you guys like some of the jewels I'm dropping on you.
Right.
Another tip is gun insurance.
Gun insurance.
Gun insurance.
What's the process of doing that? So you buy the gun. Do they offer you the insurance right when you buy it?
The process of getting gun insurance, they do not offer it to you after you buy it. You can get gun insurance through organizations like the NRA. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to advocate the NRA and say that I agree with everything the NRA does.
Yeah, but you're not going to bash it either.
I'm not going to bash it either.
It's an organization that
I am a member.
There you go. Okay, there you go.
But at the same time, at the same time, there's not just the NRA. There's a black organization. It skips my mind at the moment, but there's another organization. There's organizations that you can join where they provide liability insurance and some form of legal representation.
What does something like that look like monthly?
My insurance goes up when I'm on duty. So if I go out in the field, I can always call and up my insurance so that I have more coverage. Right, but
what do you pay for that?
But the basics, probably $100 a month. Oh, for basic, just liability and just coverage, just in case a legal retainer, something like that. That's all basically you need is just something that'll cover you in case something happens and you get involved.
And then how is the insurance is directly linked to the firearm?
No, the insurance is linked to you as a person who's carrying a firearm.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Every person in the security industry who works in the security industry has to have at least I do, but at least $1 million bond.
Okay.
Right. Insurance coverage as a company.
Sure.
I have a corporation. So as that corporation, my corporation is insured and bonded in order to do security work. All right. So that's what I mean. This is the background stuff that you have to do before you get out in the field and start working. A lot of guys are out here in the field start working.
I mean, but that's an important numbers based. The numbers involved in that. Even with the insurance and how much to take and
it's
when to turn it up.
It is very important because LLC liabilities and things of that nature, whether or not you can be sued, whether or not your client can be sued for something you do.
The legalities behind it are very important. You have to do just as much research and you have to do just as much training on the legalities of the business as you do in the gym. Right. That's an excellent correlation. Right.
The same amount of time you put in the gym on the weights should be the same amount of time you put in the books learning the law. Right.
Law 1-to-1. Right.
Understand
there.
Something. The law, procedures, search and seizures. All these
basic Miranda rights. Yeah. Yeah. No.
Listen.
For real.
Listen.
For real.
I've seen artists go down over and over again because they have no clue of search and seizure laws. Just because you're a rapper don't mean they can just pull you over and search your shit.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? There has to be legalities behind it. They have to have proof and all these types of things. And if you don't have a guy that knows that with you, what are you paying for? If you don't have someone who's knowledgeable, I'm not saying you as an artist or upcoming artist, you have to have all the knowledge in the world, right? Some of the smartest men.
You should, at least someone in your camp should be well versed.
Napoleon Hill, right? It's not the man. It's not how smart the man is. It's how that man hires smart people who know what they're doing, right? So you don't have to be the genius.
Right.
But if you're the man hiring the geniuses,
right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You still own that intellectual property. So, and that's what the game is. If you don't have to be the dude that knows everything about guns, you don't have to be the dude carrying a gun. But if you're paying for somebody and you have him as a gunman, he should know everything that has to do with guns and the laws to carry them.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. It's his talisman. Right? It's what he does. He should. Yeah.
There's no reason, and it burns me up. There's no reason why you should be worth $50-60 million and catching a gun case. There's absolutely no reason for
ridiculousness.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
For you to be worth so much money and catching a gun case mean not only did you not hire the right people,
ill-advised,
you were with the wrong people.
Double ill-advised.
Exactly. So not only did you hire the wrong people, you were with the wrong people at the time,
right,
of your contact with law enforcement.
Just not good.
Right.
Double bad. It's all bad.
It's all bad. You have to be able to understand the investment on not only teaching your guys, not only making sure your guys are trained, but the investment of looking into the background of the people you're with and hiring the right people. I can't put enough emphasis on it, man.
Right.
Hiring the right people is the difference.
Right.
Is the difference between longevity and short term.
Right.
It is the difference between you having a long career and a short career.
Right.
It's that simple. You could have all the talent in the world. You can be as talented as you wanted to be. But if you're not hiring the right people, that talent will get you nowhere. You'll be done and you'll be out of here.
At what point do you think artists should start thinking about protection? Is it like once you get a meal ticket, once you get signed, once you get a hit record? Like what is the marker? Because I know a lot of it is that people, there's a commonness to people that are like, even when celebrity is upon them, that still is like, nah, I'm still just this, but celebrity is upon them.
Right.
So at what point, what would your wake up call be at a point in celebrity where it's like, nah, you should get some protection?
The moment you are worth more than your community.
Deep. That's a deep thought.
The moment you are worth more than your community. And whatever you want to call it, if you want to call it community, if you want to call it neighborhood, whatever you want to call it, the moment you're worth more than your neighborhood, you need protection.
Interesting.
Simple as that. And that goes all the way around. That's something that goes back before rap music. Drug dealers, right? Who was our number one client before rap became rap? Were the drug dealers.
Right.
The moment you make more money than the people that's surrounding you is the moment you need protection, right? From the people that's surrounding you. Now, that's just human nature. That's not a black thing, white thing, Asian thing. That's human nature. Regardless of who you are, when you are worth more money than everybody around you, you need protection.
Now, I understand that. I understand that sentiment. But then I'm also Mansa Musa, right? Okay, so arguably the richest man ever to exist, ever, right?
Okay.
So then when you think about that, you think of war and conquest and bloodshed and, like what must he have done? And then you correlate and it was like he did it without an army.
Supposedly.
But look how he did it though. I believe it. The only reason when you look at how he did it makes sense. He had so much gold. He could control the price of the economy. So it's almost like the accusation of what the Fed does with the market, right? They can flood money into a certain area.
He can manipulate the market.
Right. So he was doing that, he had the ability to do that, but he would go into places instead of trying to conquer them. He would say, what is needed here? Right? Oh, a military, not really like a naval, we need ships, we need this, we need that, right? Not for war, just for the technology of it, right?
Let me say this.
Yeah.
I think it has an air of naivety, right? To think that the richest man in the history of the world had no protection force.
No, I didn't say no protection force.
Or
I said
some type of
the way in which
army.
he was accepted. No, the way in which he was accepted was more from the people wanted him, right? He created a frenzy. He created a frenzy as the benevolent king, right? He basically became the genie. What is it that this land needs? What is it that this land? No, but I'm saying if you did that, I believe that history shows in doing that, right? Instead of the conquest way, you go in and people are happy when you get there because you're literally trying to help with the power in your hands. And it was the highest, like no other person in the existence of the world was that wealthy.
Do you have another example of somebody else who did that?
He's the only
Besides
person.
Mansa Musa.
No. He's the only person I know of.
Only person that you know of who ruled through kindness?
Ruled through kindness. Yeah. That would be a good.
Sorry, I don't believe that.
You don't. So you believe ruled through kindness is a myth?
It's complete myth.
I don't agree.
It's complete myth.
I don't agree.
Especially if you intend to rule for a long time.
I don't agree.
Especially if you intend to rule. And I'm not saying you have to be a terrible ruler or you have to be a terrible dictator in order to, rule for a long time. I'm not saying
okay, so let's break it down. What do you consider kindness? Okay, so if we say rule through kindness, let's define kindness. What is kindness? Is it being fair and just to the citizens?
I don't think that's kind. I think that's just proper.
But you would agree though
behavior.
It would go, okay, fair and just to the citizens, because I'm trying to establish like a treatise. If it was like this was their running platform and they said this is what I'm going to do, so fair and kind to citizens, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What else? What else would be a kindness?
Economics, some type
Economics.
of economics.
Okay.
Economics. They have to be able to eat, they have to be able to have jobs.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Done.
Economic base.
Okay. Now, what else? Anything else?
Defense.
Have
to be able to defend them from outside forces.
Okay. And to also understand, outside forces could be the foliage in the area because it's poisonous, or a prickle bush that if you eat this berry, you could die, right? Like those forces too, right?
Yeah, but yes and no. But the idea, the basics, what I'm trying to say is whether or not you rule with kindness,
yes,
or you don't rule with kindness, that's still a matter of perspective. It's still a matter of perspective.
Right?
Perspective, right? Because you could say, Genghis Khan,
right,
was a kind ruler to his people. Right?
Okay, so now
to everybody else, he was a rapist and a conqueror.
Okay,
right?
Okay, so we can agree on that. No, I was just saying, I wasn't saying one or the other, right? You were saying that you didn't believe that it was possible for there to be kindness. I didn't say for that person to only be the kindest person in the world.
But that's my point. Mansa Musa is a matter of perspectives. It's a matter of how you perceive Mansa Musa.
But is there history saying otherwise?
Who wrote history?
No, but I would think that they would
listen.
Okay.
For Mansa Musa being the wealthiest man in history, there is no way that man didn't have enemies, and that there's no way that he didn't have a counter story to the story that's been told.
No, I believe that. I'm not saying that it's with this the great power for the rocks at the throne, that whole concept. I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but I'm saying he could have been at such a level. Clearly, to be so benevolent, he could have been at a level of making sure that he was protected. And actually, the people that were trying to get him were protected against whatever he could do because he was so wealthy, he could easily kill them if he wanted to.
And just like I said last show, maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows? I don't know.
I agree with that. I don't know him either. I never met him personally, but I heard. This is all I heard.
This is all you heard.
Now, if I heard that he was a murderous, raping,
maybe.
I just never heard that.
Could have been.
And I would say I'm slightly naive too.
Right.
I would like to think that there was this, divine, like a Jesus type of person, but in business. He was like business Jesus.
Maybe. I have no clue.
I don't either. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just,
what I'm saying. I understand.
Rumor has it though, but
rumor has it.
He holds the record for the richest.
Right. You have to preference everything with rumor has it.
Rumor has it.
Unless you know for sure.
We don't.
That's why the whole idea of back to bodyguarding, the whole idea of a bad client, good client. Who knows?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
It's not my job. It's really not
That's above my pay grade.
That's my pay grade. My job is to protect. Right. Anytime somebody comes at me and says, well, that's a bad guy.
Yeah.
You're protecting.
Maybe. Right. Yeah.
I have no clue.
Really?
It has nothing to do with me and my job.
Right.
My job is to protect.
And you're interfering right now. Are you trying to start a conversation with me?
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, that's kind of the philosophy you have to have when you're in this industry. Samurais don't pick their masters. I mean, you don't. It's not a question of whether or not.
That's interesting because it brings into question this notion of mastery. Right?
You start this game.
Yeah.
Fix it.
Yeah. We should break down the pieces and the points. We're gonna do that though. We're gonna do a whole podcast just for the chess nerds. Okay, so that move right there.
All right. Now go back. What did you say?
What's that?
What was you saying?
What was it? What?
You said mastery.
Oh, right. Because we were talking about, you said you don't get to choose the masters. The samurai doesn't get to choose their masters, right?
No.
So then when you think of it, it brings into question mastery, right? Because when people think of mastery, they think of the highest, right? But it's really just a realm of being in more than a title. It's a realm of being in, right?
Right.
So then the person that protects the master is already a master. Really, the master in that scenario is the protector's student. They would have to be very compliant because that's not an area of their mastery, which is why they hired the person that is. It's like you said, you don't have to be a genius.
No.
But then to respect the other person's genius in a time of...
To respect their craft.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Is the true mark of intelligence, right?
True.
The true mark of intelligence of a ruler is to respect the expertise,
recognition
of those he has under him, right?
Of course,
right. So,
yes.
I would think I'm not Japanese, but I would think in that culture, the idea is that the samurai are so skilled at what they do that their allegiance is to that code, that skill, right? It's not necessarily to the emperor, right?
Of course,
right? It's to their
like
their
art.
code.
It's an art. Yeah, it's
right.
an artwork.
It's to their code.
Yeah,
it's to their their whole culture.
Of course,
is what their allegiance to. So
yes.
They don't give a damn what the emperor does.
Yes.
It's not their job.
No, that's what I was saying, to bring in that notion of a master where it really is it's a gun for hire, but then it's also a person to protect all that you are. You know what I'm saying? Like you're literally entrusting your life in the hands of someone.
Right.
Right. So it's like,
and I go a step further. I think it's deeper than the hired gun. I think the hired gun is almost like a mercenary, right? It's a mercenary.
Yeah.
It's for money. Whatever the money is the
incentive.
Right.
The money is the allegiance.
The money is the allegiance.
Right.
To me, when I think of samurai, when I think of those cultural ancient warriors, it ain't about. They don't give a damn about wealth. They don't give a damn about monetary gain. They don't give a damn about any of that. It's just their allegiance to the code. It's their honor amongst themselves.
Right.
That's more important.
Right.
More important than gold or anything like that. I think those men who hired them though understood. Let me take care of you the best way I can, so that focus you have is completely on protecting me. And I think that's what's lost. That's what's lost.
What happens in those scenarios where, because I would guess, and like you said, I'm not Japanese, I don't know the intricacies of samurai culture, but what happens when someone hires a samurai? Because I'm sure everyone couldn't hire a samurai, right? Like hiring a samurai against a non-samurai is game over. But what happens when a samurai is hired against another person that hires a samurai?
Then they duel to the death. I tell you how Jay Kane used to say it. We cool until game day. Now, on game day, you on one side, I'm on the other side.
Right.
Everything is love until game day.
Until game day.
Until game day.
Yeah.
In this industry, I love all other bodyguards in the industry until game day. Now, if there's a point where my client has a problem with your client, it's game day.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Either I'm going to win or you going to win.
Right. And does it come to that? Does it come to like...
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does.
Yeah.
And it's nothing personal.
Right.
It's nothing
That's
personal.
a little sad though.
Nah, it shouldn't be. That's what you get paid for.
Right.
Right? You get paid for every inevitability. Right? You get paid for
I guess,
all
and then if you feel that
possibilities.
whatever actions you took were right and just based on the situation.
As long as they are in line with the code, then it's honorable.
Right.
Right? As long as they're in line with the code, then it's honorable.
Do you have a type of line that you maintain that as long as they don't cross that line, you won't go?
Yes.
Or, okay, what is that?
Yes. As long as I can look myself in the mirror, and as long as I can look at my sons in the face and still be honorable and maintain that honor, then, it's a go.
Right. That's
I would never publicly tell like what I would and would not do.
No. I'm saying, wait.
You're saying basically, is there a certain line a client can cross that I wouldn't protect them?
Right, exactly. Is there, okay, so generally in martial arts is intended to defend, right? It has the ability to, have offense, but generally on the honorable side, you should be so good that you can wait until they've clearly attacked and then defend. Do you have that type of line?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Strike first.
Strike first.
Strike first. Strike first. My number one responsibility is the life of my client and the life of myself, right? And then it spreads out to, those he's close to, in a situation, and it spreads out like a web from there, right? But that's what we get paid to do. I value his life over mine while I'm on duty.
Right.
That's what you get paid to do.
Right.
You get paid to value his life more than yours. Now, but here's the key. That doesn't mean I'm willing to give my life.
No. That's why I was going to say that whole statement is you value his life as much as yours because you'll be so good that in doing that, you will protect him and yourself. No, you don't think about it like that.
No, you get paid more. You get paid to value his life more than your own while you're on duty.
Right.
That's the essential call.
If you had a choice,
that's the essential call. That's what you get paid to do.
Yeah.
Right. The idea is to be so good.
That's what I'm saying. That in your mind, that's not even gonna. Yeah.
It's not even an option.
Not even an option. But worst case scenario, I would go out almost like the client becomes like a child. How a parent would think about taking care of the child. Same thing. Right.
Same thing.
Right.
But the idea is, like I said before, you've messed up so many times.
Right.
To get to that point to have to make that decision. You've already failed so many times. True. To where you end up at that point.
Correct.
Right? So you have to be so good that is just...
That's just not a street you go down.
Problem.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's not something you have to worry about.
Right.
Now, all kinds of things happen and, you can't predict the future and all kind of, situations.
Nuances and awareness. All of it is just a training and heightened awareness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But research, background, information.
True.
Right? With information, with the proper information, you can be ahead of the ball to where you don't end up in those type of situations.
Totally. I always wanted to know now, with the level of sophistication of protection forces, why there hasn't been the exterior offensive coordinator Oh,
that cigar is off the chain.
What is it? Which one?
Huh?
What is it?
It's a Cohiba.
Oh, it's a Cohiba?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Fire. But go ahead.
What was I saying?
Fucked you all up.
It keeps happening too. And it was important. Do you remember where it was? Oh shit.
That's what's so crazy because the cigar
the cigar hit you and then I jumped on the cigar like, what?
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah, we could play it back and pick up on another
episode, but it's all good.
It's all.
But that's the whole idea, man. The whole idea is that when I say I value a client's life more than my own.
Yes.
That doesn't mean I don't take into consideration my family, my children, and this, that, and the other.
Yes.
It just means that at that point on the job, I'm different than I am off the job.
That makes sense.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, my family or, my wives or anything like that, they should never take that personal when I say I value a client's life more than my own on the job.
That's understandable.
Yeah, that just means
that's some hero type shit. I know you don't want to think of it that way, but that's really what it is.
That's essentially, you're essentially, that's what you're paid to do.
That's what you're paid to do.
Right? That's what you're paid to do. That's what you get paid money for.
Absolutely.
So,
and it's skilled training. So it's
skilled training.
Yeah, the honor of that. Of course, that's how you do.
Now, if yesterday I worked at Smith's, mm-hmm. and then today I'm out in the field, then you see what I'm saying? You could worry. You know what I'm saying? You can be kind of stressed out about that. But I've been doing this a long time, mm-hmm. So it's not something.
And just as a point of reference, if you worked at Smith's, you wouldn't go from working at Smith's to even being close to where you're.
That is why we're here.
Yeah.
That is why we're here, because there are people who are doing that. That is why we're here. There are men in the field who were yesterday doing a regular job and today being responsible for a client. And that's the point. That's the point. We're trying to get guys trained up. We're trying to get them skilled up mm-hmm. to go out and do the job. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. It's too often that you get a guy who just, okay, I get to hang out, I get to kick it, I get to, what we call chicken and beer. I get to, go to fancy places, be with the stars and live the life, but you have absolutely no skill at what you're doing.
Right.
You have absolutely no awareness. You have absolutely no
or very little. Let's
right,
at least
very little, right? Yeah. Besides the basics, or
of course
some shit you saw on TV.
And what are the basics that are required in order to be a security protection person at like a Smith's?
Not to down anybody.
Not at all. That's not what we're saying. We're talking about levels of expertise.
Exactly.
And training. Exactly. Training is essential. It's not personal.
Seek out mentorship.
Right.
We're building a platform and we'll build a curriculum to where we can literally teach guys and put them through a training.
That's in the making. That's in the making.
But until then, seek out mentorship. Subscribe. Tune in every week. Mm-hmm. Listen to the things that we're talking about. Listen to all the jewels that we're dropping. And learn. And when you want a deeper perspective and you want to go deeper, sign on to the Patreon. Become a subscriber.
Right.
Get the background information.
Right.
Get the things that we're telling you so that you know what you're doing when you're out in the field, right? Mm.
It's a thinking man's game.
It's a thinking. Look, gone are the days. Now, I remember the days. I love those days. Like I said before, I started off as an underground fighter. I started off as
destroying people.
Fighting at mansion fights and,
right.
Fighting in front of people for money. I started off that way. Gone are the days where you could just be a good fighter and think you could be a good bodyguard. It's not.
That's not how those days are going. Oh, that's what I was saying. That it came back to me because we were talking about the evolution of bodyguarding, right?
Right.
So my question originally was, has it, one, because it might be at this level, but I feel like it would be beneficial because of the technology right now to have like an offensive coordinator type of person outside of said location, quarterbacking, like eyes on, like literally like an offensive coordinator that can see the whole place.
Yeah. Well, essentially that's your advanced man, right? Essentially that's your advanced man. Your advanced man is somebody who goes ahead of you.
Yes.
They scout out the location. They scout out the routes to their location. They scout out the exits. They scout out the entrances. They scout out the capacity. They scout out your sections. They scout out where the client's going to be when he's inside, where the client's going to be when he's outside.
And then what happens? You receive like a detailed
all that
report. I see.
That information is coming to you as he's getting it. So say you're a hands-on guy, you're a hands-on man, you're right next to the client, you're with the priority. Right. So what I say before, your job is the priority, right? Everybody else is you. Right. So your advanced man's his importance is getting you the information.
That is like an offensive coordinator.
Right. So that you can protect the priority. Right. So he's feeding you the information.
How is he going ahead?
He either goes in a separate security truck or,
when it's on
flies
foot
ahead. Sometimes, depending on how big your client is, depending on what the situation is, sometimes they fly out weeks ahead of you. Right? So they can bring
guide you in.
Right.
Basically,
they bring you in from the airport on. Sometimes that's the thing coming into a state, right?
It's already been planned.
Certain level of client, is going to a club, right? Certain level of client, you're advancing them in a club. Certain level of client, you're advancing them at a venue. Certain level of client, you're advancing them at a stadium.
Right.
Certain level of client, you're advancing them at a state. Right. So you're not only bringing them into a nightclub or bringing them into I
saw. I mean, I can't mention actual. I wish we could mention certain venues, but it's
Sometimes you're bringing them into a state. Sometimes your client is so famous that you have to bring him into a state, right? That the moment he touched down in the state, everybody knows he's there. Everybody knows where he's going. Everybody knows what hotel he's in. Everybody knows what time his show is. Everybody knows what kind of car he drives.
State level.
So sometimes you have to bring him in that. You have to advance that. So sometimes a guy will go into a state ahead of you and make sure he knows the airport, make sure he knows.
Especially for tours. I bet that would be really useful for tours, just for legalities, because you're moving in and out of states really quickly.
The advanced man is very valuable to a team.
Absolutely. I would love I think I'd be good at that.
Maybe.
Yeah. Recon.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really do. I feel like yeah. Also, with the COVID compliance thing,
you've been there. So
I have, of course, I know. But I'm kind of like a active participant. I know the professional side,
right?
But then I also know the side. I get to be a dependent. I get to be the child, right? I don't have to think but I know what you do when you're thinking, so I get aware really quickly.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting kind of dynamic.
Yeah. And then everything. To bring it back around to carrying a firearm, carrying a firearm increases the threat level.
Increases threat.
Right. Universal law, right? You attract the force you present. Right?
Yeah.
So whatever force you're putting out is the force you attract.
Right.
Is the force you give out.
So strategically, it would be to your advantage to put forth very little force.
Yes.
In order to be met with very little force.
Right.
Which is counterintuitive. Say that so people can understand that again. You know what I mean?
But there are certain amounts of force that is acceptable as an acceptable risk.
Acceptable risk.
Acceptable risk. You can't go out with the idea that so if I roll around with people who don't carry a firearm, then I'll never be introduced to a situation where I needed a firearm.
True.
No.
No, I mean, it's more likely. I'm not saying.
Yeah. But if you carry a firearm, yes, do you increase the chances that you will be met in some type of situation with the firearm if you carry one? I'm asking you a question. Do you think that if you don't carry a firearm, do you lessen your chances of being in a situation where you needed one than you do if you're carrying one?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? No, it does.
It does?
It increases. So if you have a firearm,
okay,
you increase your chances of being in a situation
where you need a firearm. So that's actually encouragement not to carry a firearm, though.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Why? If you're an average citizen,
I think it brings up the argument for having a concealed weapon. Because then you have yours and you're a master with it, but you're not turning up the volume on people that, right? It becomes the same safety.
Murphy's Law, right? Everything that can happen, right? Everything that will happen, can happen.
Right.
Universal law. You attract
the
same amount of force that you put out.
Right.
Now, the question is it an acceptable amount of force? When you're worth so much money, it is an acceptable amount of force.
Then it goes to financial. Yeah.
Exactly. It is an acceptable amount of force to surround yourself with people who have firearms who can protect you from that money, right? Money is force.
Money is a type of force. I agree.
Money is a type of force.
I agree. Yes.
The more money you have, the more force, right? The more force that you can...
The more force potential that you exert.
Right?
The more potential
force you exert.
Right, or elongated force.
Exactly.
Right.
So my point to that is some clients may not be on a level where that force is acceptable. Might not be on the level where they need armed protection. They may be on a level where they just need protection.
I see.
Right? Armed protection is a separate force amount than regular protection.
Let's talk about the distinctions between the two, because up to this point we've been talking about armed protection. Now, as it relates to just protection, what does that look like when you're not armed?
When you're not armed, there's great examples of non-armed protection. Right? The FOI is one of them. I mean, these brothers are highly trained, highly disciplined, very good at what they do, but they're unarmed.
And I wonder, from a strategy and tactics standpoint, not that you would know this one way or another, but I'm sure the protocol I'm sure they'd have the same scenario protecting a client, right?
Absolutely.
Would differ without the ability to neutralize client with a gun. Right. So it's like it becomes 100% defensive. You know what I mean? Because there is no way, like if you saw the assailant, you couldn't shoot at assailant. You would have to be like, saw assailant over there, subject to safety.
You would have to be. Okay. I like bringing up the FOI too when it comes to this business, because they are the perfect example of unarmed protection. Right? For a man that is as reviled and hated in some communities as Farrakhan. Right? To be able to protect him at the level they're able to protect him.
True.
Right?
True.
They have to be so skilled at everything else.
Super sharp.
Beyond the charts. They would have to be skilled.
I bet it would,
in order to protect him from outside forces, as they've been able to have. And then some people will argue, well, Farrakhan doesn't go. Nah, I've seen Farrakhan.
I bet it has to do with proximity too.
I've seen him in all kind of scenarios and all kind of places. And I'm telling you, the best unarmed protection, the best example of unarmed protection
is the FOI.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Respect.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
So, but that's not to say when you're talking about Secret Service, when you're talking about military, government, they're all armed and they're very skilled at what they do too. And they face a separate threat. I can only speak to my expertise, which is hip hop, sports, and entertainment.
Right.
And hip hop, sports, and entertainment brings a unique threat because you're not only dealing with the public, you're dealing with people who could be mentally ill. You're dealing with stalkers.
True.
You're dealing with all kinds of things. People who believe the lyrics.
Right.
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 People who believe that that's really the case in the lyrics. So,
yeah.
There's all kind of threat levels that are involved when you're talking about athletes and sports and entertainment. Boxers and fighters. Boxers and fighters present a unique threat because everybody wants to, fight the champ.
Sure.
Everybody wants
a chance,
right? So that's a unique perspective. But unarmed security, it's not a lesser to me.
Not at all. Right. I'm saying tactically, I'm glad you made that distinction too, because in a way I find it more difficult.
Yeah.
Right? Because one, you have offense and defense. Armed, you have offense and defense. If I want somebody not to come through that door, I can shoot at that door. Even if I'm not trying to hit them, they know someone's shooting at that door, so they would pause.
Right.
Whereas if I didn't have a weapon, now all of my tactics are generally like escape routes, neutralization of target. So it's probably if there was a problem, everybody would be so focused on the problem quickly.
Well, if you're in
that'd be my guess.
Yeah, if you're in a situation where if I'm faced a situation where I can't carry my firearm, what's my priority? What's my priority for defense in that situation?
The safety of your client still.
How do I do that? If I can't carry a firearm, no. If I can't carry a firearm, my first priority is to make sure nobody else has one.
Oh, I see. Okay, so that would be a contingency upon being in that environment.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
So if you can't carry a firearm, and you can't have one. If I can't have my firearm, wherever I go, nobody else in there can have one.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
If I'm in control.
Yeah. Right? That makes sense. And that point taken, that's probably one of the mandates for the FOI. So that levels the playing ground. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I would, if I were in that situation, I would think escape routes, right? If I can't go forward, it would be more like a magician, right? It's like, if I can't go forward, right, with force,
right,
now I'm going to elude my enemy. I'm gonna figure out a way to safely elude my enemy, right? So it would be escape routes or switchbacks.
Escape routes already put you behind the 8 ball. If you're escaping something, that means you failed already. If you're into something.
Right.
And that means you failed already, especially if you're escaping. The only reason for you to escape, especially if you're unarmed, is because somebody else is armed.
No, I'm saying, what about in situations where the rules were bent? Even though it's an environment in which, it's supposed to have no guns, they had guns.
Right.
Right?
Then I have one.
Right. It's just concealed. That's the whole point of it. So in essence, it's like I never. Right.
Regardless of legality.
Yeah.
If I'm in a situation where I can't control whether or not everybody else has one, then I have one. Regardless of legality, regardless of country, regardless of state, doesn't matter.
Yep.
If I'm in a situation where I can't control whether or not everybody else has one in that venue or in that specific place that I'm taking a client,
then you're going to have one. Right.
Period.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how
that's fair. That's fair.
But
I'm just saying, I'm just giving scenarios in which you did it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like some people from a statistical standpoint, let's say 4 people stronger than you were going to jump you. You knew you were in better shape than them and could outrun them probably.
Yeah.
So you could easily run away and elude all 4 of them, or you could test your strength and just go head up with 4 people, right? So it's like, is running away smart or cowardly? Right? So it's like
not an option, right? It's not an option for somebody like me because running away would mean career suicide.
Not at all.
Absolutely. If you're talking about me with no client, by myself, and I end up in a situation
where
there's four people who want to attack me.
Armed.
Okay,
no, let's make it a different scenario.
Once again,
let's say, wait, hold on, because the difference is, I think some people see strategic moves in a short term way and don't see it as a series of strategies in which you're still winning, right? Okay, so now let's say they were armed, but you were 2 miles away from your car and you had mad ammo in your car, right? Now, do you run away to get the ammo, hoping that they chase, fearing that your reputation, like what do you do in that scenario?
This is what I'm telling you.
Right.
Like chess. You shouldn't have been in that scenario.
No, I'm saying.
No, listen.
Yeah, I get that.
This is what I'm saying. If I'm in that scenario, if I'm in a scenario where I can be attacked by four armed men. I'm armed.
You're unarmed. Right. Right. You're like, yeah. You're saying it's an absurdity. It's an absurd scenario.
It's impossible. I would have broken all my right. So if I'm in a scenario,
I'm trying to create a scenario in which you are without your firearm.
Not possible.
But then tactically, you could elude the enemy to continue the fight.
Right.
To continue the fight, though. But in that interim, if you look at it on a short term, it seems as if you're eluding, but really you're running to get your gun.
Maybe.
I'm just saying. But like there's those gray areas.
I can't think like that. I can't think like that. I always have to think of the possibility of where I'm going.
Yes.
Who's going to be there?
Yes.
What's it going to look like? And what I may be facing.
No, I get that.
You understand what I'm saying?
I get that.
It's I don't even allow myself to think in that way of like, oh, maybe I get caught up in a situation where I'm unprepared. My job is to be prepared, especially if I'm on the job. Mm-hmm. That's why I don't do shit if I'm not on the job. I go to the gym and I go home. Right? Because I can't control the environment.
You don't want to, right. If you don't want to be in an uncontrollable environment.
Right. If I can't be in an environment that I control,
that makes sense.
Then I'm not going to be there.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
You just won't find me there.
I've caught myself, and the reason I say this also is because I've caught myself in scenarios in which it was a combat situation, but one, there was children around, and I was like, any type of gunplay, based on the psyche of the person with the gun, they would not be as aware that there are children around, right?
Wouldn't care.
They wouldn't care.
Yeah.
So that was one thing for them to follow me, right? Like follow me away from the children, right? Mm-hmm. Then also there was, this is an example when I was in Hawaii, actually, it was like a combat situation where 3-on-1, right? So I had to lure the person away to follow me with the intention, though, of luring them away to then attack them.
Ah, got you.
But then they didn't follow.
Yeah.
They did, right? They didn't follow. But then in my mind, I was like, they knew that, right? So now distance is there, and then there's dissipation.
Absolutely.
But then if you were looking at it from the standpoint of why was the person fleeing, it was like I wasn't fleeing because I was afraid. I was fleeing to bring the attention to me because there was a child there, and I was going to dismantle them one at, you know what I mean? Like Absolutely. One at a time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and that's like the idea of like every gunfight I've been in has been a situation where I knew there were going to be one.
Talk about that.
You understand what I'm saying?
Talk
so
about
it's not
that. Yeah.
It's not a question of whether or not
you knew there was. It's like game time, and you're going to the game.
I knew there was going to be gunplay. You understand what I'm saying? It's not a question of like, oh, maybe there's not, maybe there will.
There's definitely going to be gunplay.
There's definitely going to be gunplay.
How do you prepare for that? No. Yeah. How do you know that? And how do you? I mean, as much as you can say without giving away too much, but how do you know that? And then how do you prepare for that?
I know that because nobody's fighting us. Those days are over. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get, if you're in an actual physical altercation, it's within a venue where there are no weapons. outside of a venue where there are weapons,
it's gunplay.
It's gunplay. That's just the age that we're in. I would love for it to be back in the day, like, we could just fight it out and just,
or even have non-lethal guns.
Oh, whatever.
I'm very pro non-lethal guns.
If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
I feel you.
So if I know there's a situation where it's going to be gunplay, then the thing is to be ahead of the game, right? If I know there's going to be a situation with gunplay, very simple. It's very simple. If everybody's drinking and everybody's high,
right,
I win.
Correct.
Period.
Right.
Period. If we're on a basis, if it's an even playing field, and everybody else is drinking and everybody else is high,
you're saying the assailants,
I win.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at before the gunplay even comes into play. Before we're even talking firearms, I'm looking to assess my chances of winning.
Of course.
Right.
Level of sobriety. Yeah. Just
level of sobriety, level of tactics, level of skills.
Logic.
How many feet?
Yeah.
Right? What are we talking about? If you're talking about nightclubs, if you're talking about outside, if you're talking about accuracy between 15 to 10 feet, right? 10 to 15 feet.
I mean, it said a person looking for danger, a person looking for trouble is no comparison to someone
prepared for it.
Prepared for trouble.
Right?
Exactly. Someone looking for trouble is no comparison to someone prepared for trouble. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
So I know how accurate I am within 10 to 15 feet, right? Then you have to understand the aspect of space.
Okay.
Placement.
Yep.
Where you are.
How do you take that into consideration when it's in public places, like a missed shot could mean it landed in someone other than the person you intended it for?
That's a question of ammo. A lot of times that's a question of ammo. That's a question of caliber. Oh, definitely. We got a name on that guy? Who's that called? Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Here it is. Here it is.
Patch him through.
Here it is.
Yes. Thank you. Yo, you got a treat now. Y'all should be hype.
Hype.
Hey,
it's an honor to just sit here and listen. I'm going to just listen to the wisdom.
Facts. Get him in here.
Yeah. It was already 8:15?
Yeah, already. Man.
We ain't even touch on Harlem.
For sure.
I definitely wanted to touch on Harlem.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. That shit is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. We should let Love speak on that. Can you hear us, Love?
No.
Oh. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. That would be beautiful if you spoke on that.
Okay. Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thanks. Yeah. So, I mean, a couple key things came up. That's funny that's your stance is you're not even going to consider it. You're just going to put it into a category of absurdity because you should not be in that. We're not going to discuss all of the horrible things that can happen when you're in a situation where you shouldn't be. There's an infinite number of things that could go wrong.
That could go wrong. We're not going to been there in the first place.
Period. We're not going to stay on path on how it should look.
Exactly.
I love that.
If the idea, okay,
all right.
If the idea is that, I take you for instance, Killa Jay. Let's see if you
get
Jay. Is he on now?
No, we can't hear him. We can't hear him. Nope.
Engineers working on getting my mentor in here.
Right.
Getting Jay in here.
Jay.
The godfather of the business.
Right, right. The big boss.
The big boss. Facts.
it's really like a lecture, right? It's like me being an academic, you know, you would go to things. So Jay is like the lectures, like this is who people came to see. You know what I'm saying? He's at the podium, like, thank you. Thank you, Tank.
Right.
You know?
No, but back to what you were saying, yeah, that's important. Like, for instance, if, you know, somebody's like, yo, come out to this such and such and hang out.
Like, what's that?
What are you talking about?
What is that? What does that mean? Hang out?
Right.
I've heard rumor of this thing. I've heard tale of such things. You mean just standing in an unfamiliar space, unarmed? No.
not happening. Not happening. I'm not interested.
I wouldn't be able to relax in that environment.
I'm not interested. Not interested at all. At all.
At all. Yo, this shit is so smooth.
Killa. Nah.
Nope.
All right, bet. But yeah, it's that simple. Like, no, I'm not going.
Right.
I don't want to go.
Right.
I don't want to go. If I can't
believe
control
that.
it,
I believe
if
that.
I can't control it, then I don't want nothing to do with it.
And you know what? You know what the beauty is? This is really what I want to get to. Where we have a chill environment. We have a chill environment where you can still be just as on point as you normally would.
Right.
Yet you're in full control of the environment.
Absolutely.
Right? So you get the best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds.
You're like, I'm chilling on my terms.
Like my ideal environment would be, you know, a bar like that, surrounded by horsemen.
Right. That you owned.
No.
Yeah, like a bar you owned.
And I'll be there every night.
Yeah.
But other than that,
yeah. Nah.
I don't know part to that shit.
Really a compound. I feel like if you do the compound thing, I'm pro compound. Because then you can get a lot of things in different areas, right? You can attract a lot of warrior type of energies. Because, I mean, I definitely am, not anti-gun, but I'm pro-bow. As you know that I'm more, I like the silent aspect of a bow and the fact that you can retrieve your ammunition. And reuse it. You know what I mean? You can go and get your arrow. Whereas, you know, if you run out of bullets, a gun is just a hammer.
And that's a whole nother conversation. Because,
true.
You know, people have been talking about gun control forever. People have been talking about how they're going to do gun control, Gun control is not your issue. Ammo control. Say that. Ammo control. A gun without ammo is just
is a hammer.
Facts.
It's a paperweight.
That's facts.
I mean, so it would help. I feel like, and I'm glad you mentioned the the strength and valor of the FOI that really, you know, their defense is not predicated on a gun or not gun, right? So they have I feel like they have a different expertise, right?
I wouldn't say they have a different expertise. I think the FOI psychologically are so disciplined that they're so disciplined in what they do that it makes them better at most. The discipline is the problem. The retracting of emotion.
Right?
Taking the emotion out of situations.
Right. And it just being logic and tactics.
Exactly.
Yes.
When you take emotion out of the situation, then you have
There he is.
Killa Jay.
There he is. What's up, Jay?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
Chilling, man.
Bless. Hey, can you turn him up a little bit? Is that possible?
All right, he's up.
All right. Jay.
What's going on, bro?
Before you start, man, let me introduce you properly, my man. Let me introduce you properly. Yes.
Okay.
On the line, we have my mentor, the boss of bosses, the man that taught me everything I know about this industry. Billionaire Bodyguards Club head and chairman. Killa Jay Kane. What's happening?
I know, brother. I'm blessed.
Oh, man, it's good to hear from you.
I'm very proud of what's going on right now, brother. Trust me.
Yeah, I feel
These
you.
stories need to get out.
Yeah, you sound like you out in the field right now.
Right. He's got that professing voice too. It's like, that's dope.
You know, I was out here grinding, brother. You know that.
I feel you. Hey, listen, do me a favor, man. Tell the people and tell my bro what it was like back in the day. I'm talking early 2000s. I'm talking the gladiator games. What it was really like to be a horseman back then and what it meant to be one.
Well, you want me to go from the beginning?
The beginning.
Beginning, you know, we start off in local nightclubs. We did our thing. And then when celebrities came in town, we picked them up. Then there was a guy, I don't know, this guy, he was like the master of the NBA, Allen Iverson. I was with him. And during break time, there was another guy, a little rapper named Curtis Jackson.
Right. So now we already
wait. Hold on.
Okay, because
I don't think people really understand.
No, that's all good. Yeah, you got it.
No,
you got it.
we're naming names of respectable men.
Respectable,
we do that.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, my man said
I forgot one name.
Allen Iverson. Now, if you don't know what Allen Iverson meant to the NBA, if you don't know what Allen Iverson meant to hip hop culture,
really,
you sleeping.
Right.
Allen Iverson is the image of the NBA today. Every NBA player you see, how they dress, how they look, the tattoos, that was all started by Allen Iverson. Right?
Okay.
Go ahead, continue, Jay.
He's like just the Iverson, right.
The Iverson alone.
For the Iverson legacy.
If you start on the Iverson alone.
He didn't even get onto the Curtis Jackson yet. Yeah, right. Okay.
Continue.
You know, I used to do the clubs. You know, we had an all-star cast in the clubs. And the clubs was myself, Twin, Smitty, Twitty, rest in peace, Omar. Rest in peace, Chang.
Yes, sir.
We had Dogface. We had Little Mike. We had Nee, was the first lady Horseman security.
Yes.
We had Pitbull.
Yeah.
We had the Freaks of All Freaks. We had Tuma.
Ooh.
You know, we had Nico. Rest in peace. We had Black. You know, we had a squad, man. Back then,
that sounds like
if
squad.
you say 1, 2, 3, 4, lights went out.
Oh, all day. Now, I was privy to that. I've been in a couple of those situations.
I was working with, I went too fast. I was with Missy Elliott first. And on the video shoot of the Work It remix, I met Shy Money. And that's when 50 first came out. But I had to go back to my boss, AI. So I wanted to Sprite mixtape tour. But 50 wasn't 50 just yet. You know, his currency wasn't up like that.
Right.
So then when 50 came back to town, it's a funny story. We was at the Ritz nightclub. There was a guy in the crowd that was trying to get at 50, and I wound up destroying him. But he was 50's friend from back in the day, and 50 was so mesmerized by that. At the end of the night, Mike Lighty was like, "Yo, can you leave today?" I'm like, "Nah, man, I can't leave right now." So in 3 days, I left. It was just me by myself.
Right.
And I was out there with Curtis. We just did our thing. Then slowly but surely, my family came and saw me in West Virginia, and my boy 60 was there, and Lloyd Banks saw 60, bam, took a liking to him. 60. In this business, we say gladiators.
Fact.
I've been doing this business a long time.
Gladiators.
I only know 4 men that when it came to them torches was about that work. You guys hear one person's voice right now, Tank, 60, Twin, and G. We're about that work with them hammers.
Now so that's facts. Before you even go any further, understand all the men that he just named, all the monsters,
right?
He just named. These are not men like regular dudes. All these dudes bench press over 500 pounds.
Right.
All these dudes are straight up gladiators in the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And this is back in those days where that was your business. That was your work. I mean, he already named 3 of the most impactful celebrities in the industry. Missy Elliott, Allen Iverson, Curtis Jackson. Just on those 3 names alone.
Just on those 3 alone.
That's just the beginning.
Absolutely.
So just on those 3 names alone, you're talking about making moves and shutting down the industry that nobody else was doing at that time.
True.
It's impossible.
True. And if it's a circular table, definitely on the, if it's A-list throughout, that's clearly
That's
A-list.
just the beginning.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay, get him.
And the thing that was so real about back in the day, right? In order to be somebody's bodyguard back then, because this is when the wolves really ran, like, I'll give this, Puffy had a squad. That's how it used to be back in the old days.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Wolf was an animal. D-Rock was an animal.
Still. Shout out D-Rock.
Riz was an animal. So Puffy had guys that could make you dance, and he had guys that would rock you to sleep. That's how you move back then. So a lot of times when you move with the appropriate force, it's going to eliminate problems, because everybody that goes on the road, you're going to different cities, different towns, and them cities and towns got their own wolves, their own tough guys.
Right.
So it's like in a jungle. If a hyena's eating, a lion's either going to take that food from them, or they're going to walk past them. And that's how it used to be.
Yep.
Nowadays, the security business is watered down. Like, everybody knows what toast is. You put butter on toast, it's going to get saturated and gooey. And that's how the security business is now.
Toast. Okay.
Genius.
That is beautiful. Just the visual. It's like, he explained that shit perfectly.
There's times that I've seen, I won't say this client's name, but I can say the gentlemen that were there standing toe-to-toe with me.
Facts.
There was Tank, there was Smitty, there was Lamont, there was Tuma, there was Rocks, there was White Boy Mike.
Yeah.
The other guy, I would just compliment him. He had the fastest track shoes I've ever seen security have. I won't say his name.
He said
but
the fastest track shoes.
Yeah. This clown named Rick was extremely fast.
Right.
I think he might have been related to a same boat, or a little bit called Lewis.
Right.
If I can tell his brief story, I will finish.
Please do. Yeah, absolutely.
We were at this one guy's fashion show. You guys know who he is. He has these tennis shoes out named after him. And our boss came there. Due to some politics, our boss and another guy didn't get along. Not the fashion show guy. So myself and Tank go to the bathroom. Now, you know what they say in the woods. When you hear no animals and all quiet, are predators out there.
Right. They're plotting.
Facts.
They're plotting.
Facts.
Yeah.
So when myself and Tank come out the bathroom, now get it, we're in a humongous fashion show. Everybody you think about is there. The Kardashians, Travis Scott, anybody that somebody's at this fashion show.
Right.
And me and Tank walk in the hallways with deafening silence. And I look at Justin Bieber's bodyguard's face, Anton. And I see his face. You know how you tasted something bitter and you had that look.
Yeah.
So he gives me a look, but me and Tank are still looking like, what's going on? And a second later, I see Smitty, and Smitty gives me a head nod, and I see this is the power of protection. I see D-Rock verbally barbecuing, one of the guys.
Right.
So me and D-Rock step to the side, because I've known this man for 20 years.
Right. Relationships. These are relationships.
Yeah.
So the funny thing was, in the room they were standing in front of was this older guy. He calls himself Jehovah or Jehovah. You guys know him as Jay-Z. He's in the room with his offspring, and the Kardashian girls and her offspring. And so Jay-Z tries to step into a grown man's conversation between D-Rock and myself, and we both tell him to relax, go make a song. We're talking. So to make a long story short, our relationship was able to get this one guy out of the building safe.
Facts. Now, mind you, what he's missing is that the guy we work for left us. They left us.
Now, Tank will verify this. The crazy part about this conversation, you could ask Smitty, you could ask Lamont, you could ask White Boy Mike, you can ask Rocks, you can ask Tuma, is that me and the D-Rock was 100% family.
Right.
But the people that was with him weren't on the same page as us. So there was a brief little, if D-Rock hadn't been there, I hadn't been there, it'd have been a bad situation. But that's what I'm talking about. Intelligence and reputation and relationships smooth that thing out.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And this is what we've been talking about.
That's a great point.
This is what we've been talking about. When you talk about somebody who's been in the industry for so long and has worked with so many high-end celebrities, you're talking about somebody who's not only bringing skill to the game, they're bringing relationships to the game.
Right, relationships.
So, the power behind the power. You see what I'm saying?
Power behind the power.
The power behind the power is what really saves these artists from the situations they end up in. It's the relationships behind the scenes.
Relational wellness.
You see what I'm saying? It's the relationship behind the scenes. Now, what he just described was a situation where could have went terribly bad.
Could have went terribly bad. And the naming of, I think sometimes, I know you can't name names out of respect, but sometimes it's important to actually place the temperature and degree of the scenario with that level of celebrity.
It's setting the scene.
Yeah.
We're setting the scene because when you're talking about, and that's why I'm so glad he called in, and I'm so glad he's here. Because when you're talking about a level of celebrity, when you're talking about names in the industry, you're not talking about, flash in the pan, one hit wonder. You're talking about changers of the industry. You're talking about people who changed the industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You're
the
talking
leaders.
About the leaders.
They're the
in
leaders.
The industry, right?
Yeah, exactly. They deserve to be there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about people who changed the industry, who changed the age of like the mood of an industry, right?
True.
We're talking about real game changers.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So, 50 Cent is an era. Right?
Absolutely.
Missy Elliott is an era.
On so many levels.
And then, up until today, all the other people we've been with, they changed the era of music. And we're the power behind that, and we're the ones facilitating them to be able to do that. Right? That's big.
Big, man.
That's
Thanks
big.
for sharing that story, Jay.
I know, but Jack, thanks. I got a photograph. Maybe I could tell you. I get the zillion stories.
All day long. Do me a favor, man. Break down what it was like to be on the Olympic team.
Well, the one thing about Allen Ezekiel Iverson is that this how much of a real guy he was. This is crazy. At the time I was with Allen, I was also with Curtis Jackson on the Rock the Mic tour. That's the biggest rap tour in history.
Right.
I would get off the stage, put my boss 50 in the hotel room. The 76 would have a private jet for me, get on a jet, fly to the next city, do the game for Allen, lead Allen. If there was no after party, go back to work on the tour. That's how crazy it was.
Right.
The one thing back then, a guy like Allen, is that no matter what happened, you did protecting him. If it was a bond, if it was a court case, he was going to make sure you good because that man knew that when you was with him, you put your life on the line. Remember back then, AI was the first guy walking around with $5 million worth of jewelry. AI was the first guy. We go to hotel rooms. We're checking in the hotel with $350,000 in cash. AI was, we might stay in Beverly Hills, but we going to some hood club in Long Beach. With AI, you're going to eat at 5-star restaurants and you're going to party at 1-star clubs.
Straight up. Straight up.
Thanks.
That's dope.
And that man gave me the same mission every night. Killa Jay, I don't want no one touching me. And I said, boss, at the end of the night, all I want you to do is look at your sneakers. And I guarantee they still be white. And that's how we did our thing.
Straight up.
Please, for those
That's dope.
For those that don't understand what this man just said, when you say, look at your sneakers.
Look at your sneakers.
That means regardless of where we're at,
no one,
hole in the wall, club, it don't matter where we're at.
not a scuff.
You will be untouched. Untouched. Now we're talking about an era. We're talking about an era in security. This is a man who started the era of 5 guards, 6 guards, multiple men, multiple teams,
right,
working protection, right? I had never seen it before. I had never seen it before I started.
Right.
When you're talking about, I remember when I was a kid, I watched this 50 Cent concert. I watched this 50 Cent concert, and Jay know about this. I think it was in Jamaica or wherever it was.
Kingston, Jamaica.
Yeah, Kingston, Jamaica.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
50 is at this concert, and you see the biggest monsters on stage with 50.
Right.
Now, this is Kingston, Jamaica.
Just a collection.
Just a collection of the biggest monsters, cut off shirts. What was it? A1 t-shirts? And one t-shirts?
Shirts, A1 t-shirts, cut off A1 t-shirts. Well, I had a West Virginia football shirt on.
Right.
Cut off t-shirts. Whatever we wore to the gym, we wore on stage.
Facts.
That was our look.
Facts.
Just-
and Tim boots.
Right.
And Tim boots. And Tim boots.
Just to make it known.
The biggest collection.
Yeah.
The biggest collection of monsters I had ever seen on one stage. And then you understand, right?
Straight up, yeah.
Then you understand what's going on. You understand the power and the movement. Because you got to remember, at that time, 50 was the most hated artist in the industry?
Not
Right.
that 50 Cent had people don't realize this. The man had a contract hit on his life. For 18 months, I slept on the floor by that man's bed.
Facts.
The one thing I give 50 Cent credit for, if we, from the gym to the sound check to the truck, we had a full itinerary. And everything we did from point A to point B was documented. We moved like the president. We had bulletproof cars. We had chase vehicles. We had a dummy vehicle. Every state we went to, we had an advanced team for our drivers. So we got off the plane, vehicles there. If you sat in the right seat, your hammer or your whatever you needed for your party favor was neat your seat for you.
Right.
Facts.
That's dope.
I mean, this is a golden era. This is a golden era of protection.
Do things like that happen now? I mean, as far as like
Now,
seamless.
this the part that, now I will say this. Certain artists are smart enough to let the driver have a walkie. Well, I'm sorry. If security is smart enough to tell the client or management, look, this is how we need to move. All drivers need to have communication with us. We don't need a taxi driver coming out. Something happened. No service, anything. You have a walkie-talkie. We're coming out. Or maybe 20 minutes before we come out, one of the guards goes out by the vehicles and lines the vehicles up. Or
Facts.
Right.
in certain cases, if there's 9 of us, one guy's job is to stay outside with the vehicles.
Facts.
So there's people think the threat might not always be inside. You come outside, you might got to get greasy too.
Right.
But if you're already ready for the party outside, when your reinforcement comes, it's going to be a big party.
Facts. Now, see, what he's talking about here is,
Strategically, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
what he's talking about here is how I started. I started on the advanced team.
Yep.
I started as the advanced man. So that was my job. You know, I didn't go in. You know, that was Killa Jay. That wasn't my job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
His job was to secure the principal. My job was to make sure that the venue was ready. My job is to make sure he knows everything about the venue before he goes in.
Right.
And my job is job is to make sure that the trucks are ready, to make sure the drivers know what's up.
Yep.
Make sure the routes are ready, already laid out. That's the importance of an advance man.
Yep.
And that's the importance of information, especially when you're getting it to somebody who's protecting the principal.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
And that's for years. And we're not talking about people. I can't express the importance of how famous and how big of a threat that we're responsible for protecting, right?
Right.
When you're talking about Curtis Jackson, you're talking about Missy Elliott, you're talking about the biggest names in the industry at that time.
Right.
And that's just them.
Yeah.
When we start talking about Birdman, we start talking about Young Money, Cash Money. When we start talking about Floyd Mayweather, when you start talking about those people, you're talking about the biggest names in that era at that time.
Right.
Right? And you're responsible for their protection.
Right.
I mean,
100%.
It's priceless information.
Priceless.
This is priceless information.
Tell me how it was, because I remember when I started with Floyd. Tell me how important it was how you ran Floyd's team in the beginning and how many guys we had at that point.
This is the most important thing about putting a team together, right? I tell anybody, when I put my team together, my guys know me, meaning they know what I eat, how I like to eat, how I like to move. If you know me, then you don't gotta, is Jay upset? What's going on? You can read my face and know where to go. So my thing is like Legos. personalities. You could have somebody who's the greatest fighter in the world, but he can't work with a team. You know, so I love dogs, right? You could have 20 pit bulls; they might not get along, but you have 7 Argentine dogos. They're gonna rape anything in the woods because they're pack hunters.
Right.
I needed pack hunters. I need somebody that doesn't have an ego. My man, you want the cars. My man, you by that door. You by the door. Everybody can't be by the boss. I need the perimeter. Once you have a team that can work like that, and no one's trying to be an Instagram model, and no one's trying to tell their girlfriend, oh, yo, look at me, I'm on 24/7, that moves like a special forces unit, then we won.
Yeah, that's real. Pay attention.
I can take a barber and turn him into a Navy SEAL. Just, he got to have the personality.
Right.
Personality makes the magic.
Right.
Because everybody's been on a first date before, right? When you're with your client, always put the first date. You gonna meet a girl, and that first date, you got to swooze her. When you're with your client, you got to remember this. The greatest gift a man can give another man is his life and his freedom. When your client knows that this guy's going to give me his life and his freedom, his personality towards you is going to be like a mother and son. It's something cherished.
Right.
Facts.
So once I was able to put the same guys on the same thought pattern as me, we can do anything.
Facts.
If all we got to do is get you out this club and safe, I promise you, these 9 figures going to make sure we're going to rock for you. You are king. We're going to protect your kingdom. And that's what it took. So I was with Floyd like always. I always get the gig by myself. What happened was I used to work for a football player named Sean Merriman from San Diego Chargers. And we were at a club one time, and Floyd's people saw me. How you doing? Whatever. And an altercation happened in the club. I got Sean out of the club, but one of Floyd's guys is from my area. I went back in the club, made sure Floyd was straight. So he told P. Rilla to get my name. Then All-Star Week in New Orleans, I went with Floyd. Then Killa Jay put the magic down. Then from there, I was gone.
Great.
Then the next move I make, I brought Nico out there. Then the rest is like history. After Nico, I brought Tank. After Tank, we got Dave. After Dave, we got Jordan. After Jordan, we got Block.
Yep.
Well, Smitty could have went, but Smitty gave the blocks, and that was our team. And we moved like a collective unit. Then while we're out there, we also picked up Kip.
Yeah.
So that was, everybody had a
Shout
purpose,
out Big Kip. Shout out Big Kip. Word. Now, I don't think people looked over. People probably looked over the whole aspect about him, about what he eats, right? We had dietary restrictions.
Right.
Let's keep it a buck. We had dietary. We would have to eat like peanut butter sandwiches.
Peanut butter, straight protein.
Straight protein, almond butter, peanut butter sandwiches.
There you go.
It was literally like people who are in the military understand what I'm talking about. It was really like chow time. We would have chow time.
Beautiful.
We would have to train every day. Same gym. We would have to train every day, and people kind of sleep on the 24/7. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that right now. 24/7, the most highly watched episode of 24/7 with Floyd Mayweather was the episode on Horseman. I'm gonna go ahead and just go ahead and say
right. That's the one where you was like me mugging the person and they couldn't get a response. He was just like, I don't even see you. I don't even see you.
That was TMZ.
Oh, that was TMZ. Oh, okay.
24/7 is the most epic thing ever on reality TV. We literally picked the car up and moved it.
Picked the car up and moved it.
Jay, you remember?
Yo, we have to intercut to them picking the car up and moving it. I don't know what we got to do in post, but there's going to be a cut right here. Yo.
One thing about Floyd, it was time. So we knew from 6 a.m. till 1 o'clock, we could do eat, shower, shit, shave. I can cuss?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Eat, shower, shit, shave, hit the gym, and be at that gym at 1:45 because the boss is supposed to train at 2 o'clock. But one thing about the boss, he might come at 1:51, 1:52, 1:53. So before the boss get there, we clear the gym out because it's his time to train. So some neutron parked his car in the boss's parking spot. Now, every
right
day
in
the
front of the
boss
gym.
What did he call him? Somewhat
Neutron.
Neutron. So we're like, yo, whose car is this? No one's saying whose car it is. So whose car is it again? I said, you know what? Fuck this. I said, come on, let's go. We're going to show you what Gorilla Power do. We picked the car up and moved it to another spot. We're like, yo, now your car's over there. Your transmission, your axle might be fucked, but it's over there now.
but it's out of the way. Yo, that's hilarious.
Oh, man. And this is some of the... Go ahead.
And to speak on what Tank said, shout out to Jackson. Jackson was the producer of 24/7. He told the client, look, everybody knows you're financially secure. Everybody knows you had this. But you have 8 specimens walking behind you. People want to see them. And like my brother just said, they tape us in the gym. They tape us in. If you want to get truthful, that episode won that man a Tony Award.
That's right.
Wow.
No, that's facts.
Yeah.
That's facts. He got that. He got a Tony Award for that episode. Now,
For that episode.
the craziest thing about that episode is that also debuted the pickup truck. You remember?
Yep.
What was the pickup truck?
Pickup truck was probably the worst. I don't know what the fuck it was. Toyota pickup. And me and Nico used to drive in it daily.
It was the
He said daily.
He used to drive in 76. You know.
So you gotta imagine Floyd running the streets in a whatever the fuck, a Bugatti, whatever he was driving
at the time. Right.
And we would be in this Toyota. Right, a McLaren.
A McLaren.
So he's driving the street in the McLaren, and we're like following behind him in this 2-seater
Toyota
pickup. But that's how that's how it was, man. We didn't give a fuck. It didn't matter.
A to B.
As long as
it's like we are exactly. We have an engine and 4 wheels.
As long as we get
we are exactly.
We look like
that is hilarious.
Biracial Amish people in a horse and buggy.
What about the Amish people in the horse and buggy?
That's what we look like.
Right. In
Far behind the boss
exactly.
in McLaren with that truck. We look like biracial Amish people in a horse and buggy falling behind a car.
Straight up.
That's
the perfect analogy.
And that's how it was, because he would call you. We would get calls 3 or 4 in the morning. Hey, we going to the strip club.
This how the phone call would come. You get a phone call and everything with him.
It's like a fireman.
Hyper. Champ on the move. Champ's on the move. Champ's on the move. When he say that, we run out of the hotel. Yeah, you got to remember this. Tank lived in Vegas. So at the time, he stayed with us because you don't know when you're going to get a call.
Don't know. We lived at the Silverton.
Yeah.
Silverton Hotel.
We lived at the Silverton. So imagine me telling Chanel, hey, look.
I'm going to be living
I'm going to be staying
like
at the
Silverton.
Right. So you have to understand, the idea was, this is boot camp.
Exactly. That's what it is.
You got to remember, I wanted it so bad. I wanted to do it so bad, and I wanted to be like these guys so bad. Mm-hmm. You know, Jay paid me out of his own pocket.
Right.
Yep.
Right. I used to sit there. I would sit there. I remember. I'll never forget this. We was outside the gym, and Floyd's, what was his name?
Leonard Ellerby.
Right.
Floyd's money manager, whatever.
The money man.
Whatever. His man that ran everything.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he would come out. He would be like, he'll give everybody their checks. So everybody get their checks. Boom. They get their check. And I'm just sitting there. And he's like, he looked at Jay. He was like, and he's your responsibility. Right? And I'll never forget that, Jay.
Word for word, that's what he said.
That's what he said. He said, he's your responsibility. And Jay was like, no problem.
Right.
Never asked for an extra dime, nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I got him.
Like don't even worry about it.
They recognize that too. They recognize that's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. And see, that's
2 for 1, basically. It's like a 2 for
1.
Yeah.
And that's what I said when I said, from that point, I never looked at myself as working for a priority unless I was by myself. Right? Mm-hmm. My responsibility was always Jay. Mm-hmm. Right? Because I'm his man.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm responsible for him.
Yeah.
You dig?
Yeah.
So it never has, and we're talking about 10 years ago. It's a decade ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's never been a situation where it was like a client was more important to me than Jay.
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
Never.
Yeah. Never be.
I'm gonna tell people the funniest story, and I'll say his name. So look,
that laugh is sinister. That laugh is that shit is sinister.
I got love for this guy, but this guy, he operates off the old penitentiary rules that somebody might have the keys to the yard do. You've seen this guy hold back several checks for rappers, several checks for everybody. They never get paid by this guy. We would work, and with time to leave, Tank would tell him, I cannot go anywhere until I have the check for Killa Jay. So if you going home, I hope you got an extra bed for me.
Right.
Tank impressed this man so much, the man called me. He said, I've only seen another gentleman be this way, and that's for, he said like this, your guys are loyal to you like I've seen another guy be loyal to another gentleman in the state of Texas. And Tank always did that.
Right.
And that man was never a penny short or a dollar late. When the mission was over, whether I was there or not, he made sure Tank had that paperwork.
Right.
Facts.
Right.
Facts. Now this was a foregone conclusion, right? Everybody knew that this dude didn't pay.
Right. You was just
everybody knew.
Let's not play around.
Everybody knew this dude didn't pay. So when it came time for payday, it was real simple.
Yeah.
Either you pay me, or the tab runs.
Come on.
But I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving unless I get paid.
It's not a question. If you going, I'm going. So it's not a question of like, oh, we'll get you later, or like, yo, we'll send the check. No. I got to have it now. Mm-hmm. I can't go back to my boss. I can't go back to my
payment
superior.
or hostage ship.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't go back to my superior without the money. That's my mission. That's the job. Mm-hmm. I must have the bread because that's how everybody eats.
Right.
That's how we all eat.
That's the agreement.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the famous words that man told me, his exact words, hot boy, your goddamn nigga is going to ride for you until the wheels come off. I said, boss, that's what they supposed to do.
Facts.
We love each other unconditionally. Mm-hmm. Because whether we working at Walmart or Smoothie King, we going to ride for each other.
Facts.
Right.
And we going to get it.
Right.
And we going to get it. So that's
dope. And that's a great moral compass.
And that's what's so absurd. Jay know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We ain't gonna say no names. But imagine a motherfucker coming to you. Mm-hmm. Imagine a motherfucker coming to you, knowing what you know now.
Yeah.
Coming to one of us, trying to get us to turn on each other.
Trying to separate. That's like laugh out loud.
Imagine that.
That's laugh out loud.
Imagine that. Imagine a motherfucker looking at you like, yo, tell me what your man did.
Right.
Is you fucking crazy?
Get the fuck.
Is you crazy?
Yeah.
Now, that's what people don't understand. Go ahead, Jay.
I got one better for you, right? We ain't gonna say no names, right? This is how funny life is, right? This is the one thing that these artists never do, right? Or the travel agent. These artists, see, this is the funny thing, right? It used to be the BET Awards. All enemies would collide. But then the game got smarter. Now, all these artists always stay at the same hotels. Mm-hmm. So the fourth floor might be us, and the second floor might be the enemy. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times, me and Tank was put in position, that a certain guy that could sing and dance and move his hips all funny, he was beefing with our boss. Make a long story
funny as shit, man.
Make a long story short, this guy was at the club with a bunch of adolescents, and a situation happened. But before the situation happened, the boss already gave me and Tank the green light, and plus, you know what I'm saying, plus the bonus to go ahead and put some marks on the boy that could dance face. So
right.
Push come to shove come to push come to shove. We educate the nigga on horseman mentality.
Facts.
So
Right.
when it's all said and done, the same guy that gave us the mission, just like America, the nod we were ever in the country. The nod that he ever,
I never sent that order.
That he ever gave us the mission.
Right. Right.
So
Full disavowed.
Full disembowelment.
We was full disemboweled, right?
Yeah, me and Tank couldn't wear no dog tags on this mission. No one knew what we were doing there.
Facts.
But based upon professional relationships I had and professional relationships my family had, that when the wave came down on us through the law, we were able to navigate the wave. At the end of the day, the people representing the man that gave us a mission told him, without the people you have watching your back, this would have went a totally different way. The people you have watching your back came up with every type of witness known to man, and these weren't just average witnesses. These are some people that had some high authority in that state. Mm-hmm. And if you ever do the history of what I'm talking about, you would see nothing ever came by the situation.
Yep. Rest in peace. Speaking of that, rest in peace, Saeed.
Rest in peace, Saeed. Yep.
Saeed, rest in peace.
Facts.
And see, this is the thing that Tank. See, this is what goes on in this game. You have the bodyguard. That's a social media junkie. You have the homie guard. He wants to drink and smoke. He doesn't care. He probably has 3 kids at home that take care of his family. He just wants to be out there. Then you got the executive protection guy. Like, this what me and Tank do, right?
Executive protection.
We sit and break down our bills for a year. If us sacrificing time away from our family and our children, and you don't give us enough currency to take care of our castle, then what the fuck are we doing around you?
Fact.
So when you have these niggas, I can say the N-word.
Yes, sir.
When you have these guys out here working for $200 a day, $250 a day, what does that cover?
Right.
That don't even cover child care.
At all.
Right.
If me and Tank go out to eat and take our family, that $250 don't even put a foot on the bill.
Right. That's just appetizers.
Facts.
Shit, me, Tank, and Smitty went to fucking Roof Chris in Houston. Our bill was $750.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Minus the drinks.
So a lot of times these guys, like, they're working for these up and coming rappers or some of these other guys that work for these rappers. You guys are this is how you tell a man's financial situation. If you on the road making $250 a day plus taxes, you're bringing home what, $197 or $201, and your mortgage was. I'll give you a credit. You have a mortgage. The average mortgage everywhere is anywhere from $1,800 to $4,000 a month. How you take care of your family? So a lot of times these people be in this game is a sport, not a career.
He's giving it real right now.
Mm-hmm. Say that again.
Look, and a lot of times people take this for a game, not a career.
Right.
Then you got to look at this, right? And we all know the pandemic, the coronavirus came. It crippled the personal protection business because a lot of these artists that you think are really got it, they are leasing houses, leasing cars. There's no tours. There's no shows. They might not have no type of endorsement deal. They can't eat, and they're not going to sacrifice what they got to take care of you.
Right.
There's very few people in this business that, regardless of the storm, they can still ride high. And knock on wood, we're blessed that we still have salaries and careers based upon a good boss and good management,
right,
good financial advisors. But that's the part they don't speak about. So when you see all these pictures, throwback Thursday, I was on the road. Okay, but that was then.
Right.
The rent man don't care about that. You can't tell Indy Mac Mortgage Company. I used to work for Jay-Z, man.
Indy Mac Mortgage Company.
Now that's important. That's important you said that, right? Because this is how I look at it. All those times clients attempted to divide us, all those times clients tried to pin each other against each other. Where are those clients? Right?
Exactly.
Where are all those dudes? Where are all those dudes that worked with us?
Yeah.
All the dudes who were out there with us, who chose the client?
See?
There was several.
There was a choosing.
Several.
There was a choosing.
Several times we've been in predicaments where it was just me and Jay. Everybody else chose the client.
Right, the money.
Everybody else chose the money.
Or the worst thing is that you had these guys that try to live like the client. Oh, the client's going to do this for me. He's going to buy me a car. He's going to buy me a house. Oh, he's my kid's uncle, father, brother, sister-in-law, god kids. You work for this man. This man don't know you more. You know the zip on his jeans. What are you talking about?
Right.
Facts.
You're deluded.
Facts.
These are delusions of grandeur.
Jay know this. The worst quote I've ever heard from a man in this business. Mm-hmm. My client is going to take care of me forever.
Yeah, forever.
Oh my God.
The worst quote I've ever heard.
That would be the worst quote.
The worst quote I've ever heard a man say. A grown man. Tell other grown men, my client's going to take care of me forever.
This is the craziest thing.
That's crazy.
Now, me and Tank gonna be gentlemen. We're not gonna say names. Me and Tank was in the vehicle with the boss. All right. A guy we know, had his children get on the phone, talk to the boss. Please give my daddy back his job. Me and Tank look at each other. And this is crazy. I'm sitting in the front seat, and Tank's in the back seat. I didn't have to look at Tank. I could feel his eyes burning my head. We both were saying the same thing. What the fuck is this? And then we got out the car and looked at the boss. You know what he told us? This nigga's a clown.
Facts. You've already destroyed your credibility.
You done sent the children. Let me recap. Let me just make sure I'm understanding it properly. So, a grown man, encouraged the children pre-dialing. I'm gonna call this number, and when the person gets on the phone, you tell them my daddy wants his job back. Like the whole prep, he had to prep the kids.
They probably did six test rehearsals. Okay, start now. Say it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Me, just the thought pattern of
me and this man are the only two I've ever known who has refused to work without the other.
To work without the other.
100%.
I haven't seen it.
It's a package deal.
I haven't seen it. I mean, refuse.
You know my motto is, I tell everybody, you cannot eat Thanksgiving without utensils. A fork has never been better than a knife.
There it is.
Both to cut and pull.
And they work really well together. Right. That's a perfect analogy.
I've never seen it. And the look on clients' face when you do that it is amazing. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. I'll tell you this story. Jay know about this. I remember we were both with two different clients. Mm-hmm. Right? And a situation happened in Miami, right?
Yep.
I'm running into a club to handle some shit for a client. Mm-hmm. Just the idea. I'm running in. Jay's coming out with somebody else.
Okay.
So I'm running in the club. Jay's coming out with somebody else. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. The look on my face running in, he already knew what was going down. He literally told his client, I've got to go back in with him. Right?
Right, but his client was already safe.
Whatever was already safe.
Right. So now, boom, boom, this is a twofer. Now you got your backup going in.
Have to. Just that aspect of him understanding what was going on.
Right.
And look, Tank, I'm going to shed light on it, right?
Go ahead.
This is not any club. This is Sunday night at Live nightclub. So you already know how fucking crazy it is. You have every girl in America to sell pussy out there. You got every girl trying to get every local celebrity rapper in there. It's packed. The parking lot itself is a club. So me and my guy are coming out with his entourage. Tank is running past me. I see Tank's face. I tell my boss, look, boss, that's my family. He said, Jason, I already know what you got to do. I said, I see you at the house. Then me and Tank went in and proceeded. I'm following my brother. What you into, I'm into.
Facts.
Right.
Facts. Now this is the type of stuff that resides through the industry. Mm-hmm. Right? And this is the type of shit that we're trying to teach a new way.
What ended up happening when y'all went in? It was business as usual, or
no, it was not.
Put it this way, you know how you put frosting on the cake, you take you take your spatula, your knife, the last little bit of frosting, you put it, smooths out.
Yeah.
We basically smoothed out the cake. We didn't use red velvet frosting this time. We used nice angel food, so it was smoothed out.
That's like perfectly cryptic. I'm like, okay, right.
Smooth out the whole surface. Smooth it, round it out.
Sleeping,
the whole thing.
Just conformity.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you the funny thing about this business, right? And this is like, if all you, I don't want to say somebody's name, but there's a lot of security nowadays that are trying to be, like I keep saying, Instagram models, because it blows my mind how these guys, this way you tell somebody, before I was ever a bodyguard, I wasn't a virgin. I played college football. I did my thing. Mm-hmm. These guys come on a road and get these new identities. So they want to start lifting weights when they're 34. They want to get tattoos, bald heads, and then now they're starting to talk to females now.
Right.
So now they're going crazy. So now they're calling themselves like Bobby Badass, a sexy bodyguard. There's not a person in America that's really common sense smart that's going to hire anybody, a grown man that's calling himself sexy or delicious. How can anybody that labels himself like that be in the same status as elite protection?
As elite protection, that is not elite protection.
Yeah. So that's how this country and that's how this thing is. You know, it hurts my heart so much because we have a world right now where they're making black men look crazy. When we're strong. Like, brother, we're strong. If we band together and put some, like, it's probably more bodyguards in the business with tattoos than health insurance.
Facts.
There's probably more bodyguards in business with more cell phones than car insurance. There's probably more bodyguards in the business that are renting rooms instead of owning stuff. So me and Tank just want to uplift our people that, look, you ain't got to work for a Grammy-nominated artist. But if you're in this business,
handle your business.
Yeah. If you handle your business, invest your money. Right. Turn something over, you know?
Yeah, right.
Everybody is not going to get to be J-Lo's bodyguard. But if you can find a client that can take care of you and you can take care of your family, you've won.
Right? Yeah, facts.
But no one sees it like that.
And that's the important thing.
That's wisdom.
That's
right
the
there,
thing, man.
That is wisdom.
That's the thing. We're trying to teach dudes to come in the game with skills instead of come in the game with nothing and make us all look like nothing.
Exactly.
Right? You come in the game, you can't charge nothing because you ain't worth nothing.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's a certain level of professional acumen.
You got to have.
Yeah.
This be the most craziest thing in the world, right? And I've just experienced this myself, right? And Tank knows what to say. I just got another new client. Shout out to Manny.
Facts.
I got a guy I put down, right? And this is what blows my mind. So what's your security? I was in the military. Perfect. What'd you do? Perfect. I'm taking executive protection class. Perfect. Send the guy out there. Perfect. All right. I meet the guy. Because a lot of times with these jobs, you're moving so fast. Be like, yo, Tank, I got it. Well, not Tank. It might be Billy Bob. I got a guy right here. And you give that guy a chance. But then when you meet the guy, he looks nothing like he said he looked. But he's showing you all these pictures of him in a suit, like, with black shades on, and he smells like he smokes 30 Newports a day. Like, bro, if you're gonna be co-signed by me, you have to be a package. You have to have a look. You have to be intelligent. Your hygiene has to be proper. You can't show the work in the dirty. Clothes need to be clean.
Right.
This is stuff your mama should have told you. Check. Like, you got to be somebody's mom. A lot of times these guys, they don't get it. I keep saying it's all like going on a first date. You need to be presentable.
Facts.
You need to have enough money in case you got to cover the date and the movie. These guys don't get it. How you following the client and you got a full tank of gas? What was you doing? You ain't got an oil change.
Right. The logistics, basic logistics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the sad part, man. A lot of it, you don't realize what you have until they failed.
That's true.
And you don't realize you had a piece of shit until you failed, until you locked up.
This is the crazy part. Tank knows that. This is the crazy part. These people, they're thinking they're getting $500 and $1,500. I said, my man, you didn't get drafted by the Cleveland Browns. I'm just giving you a test run.
Right.
You got all these classes and certificates, and you ain't had a job guarding a kindergarten house yet. Like, come on, brother.
Right. On the job training. Straight up.
Facts. And that's every industry has an apprenticeship.
Absolutely.
Every industry has an apprenticeship program. Our industry is the only industry when we bring guys on and they expect to get journeyman wages.
No.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Oh, no.
Immediately.
I mean, there should be some type of probationary, like the first.
Jay's better than me. I say a dude should work for free.
For the first, what?
You should work for free.
Day or the first gig?
The knowledge is the payment.
Okay. Well, I mean, but no, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think that's a great idea. But then what would it be? The first, you work for free the first gig or the first day?
I would say you work until, traditionally, you would work, an apprentice would work until a journeyman said you are skilled enough to get paid.
I don't know if I would agree with that.
Shit.
It would have to be like set out, like a certain number of missions. The first 3 missions or something. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, then it questions your professionalism and you're getting the loyalty, right? With the first 3, it's like, that's okay, yes. But then you still got to eat too. Otherwise you could just be indefinitely. Nah, you're not ready yet. Nah, you're not ready yet. You know.
Listen to me.
How do you deal with that?
Go ahead.
If you meet a girl, right, you trying to tell me after your 3rd date, you know she's loyal to you. You give her the keys to your house, keys to your car, your bank account information. Not at all.
True.
So if we're giving this man, listen to me. You yourself and your 25 certificates couldn't get you a job in this business, but our name got you a job in this business.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're gonna get crumbs, but you're gonna have to earn something. Listen, when I first started off, I didn't get $1 million.
Right.
You had to work for that. So why I'm gonna prime example. It's just like if you in a yard. I might give you a couple soups and a pack of cigarettes. You're not running the fucking phone. Shit, nigga, you're not getting commissary from everybody. You don't open up a store box. You have to earn that.
He's going into prison vernacular.
Got to.
He's like, okay.
Got to.
Right, just to understand, like, pecking order.
Facts. There's no better way to put it. There's no better way to put it.
Yeah, because you're providing a world. You're providing a world of opportunity. But I think it's different when the person knows that that's what they're signing up for. Right. If the person knows you are indefinitely not paid for your services.
The reason why I lack sympathy from a lot of guys. The reason why I lack sympathy for a lot of guys. I chose, I was going to learn first before I tried to get paid.
Right. Honorably.
Honorably.
Yeah.
Jay told me out the gate, you're not going to get paid to, this isn't, what I'm saying. I'm just offering you the opportunity.
Absolutely.
My very first client as a horseman was who, Jay?
Yeah, somebody in my family.
Exactly. That's how I started.
You know what I told him? If you can watch her and protect her, then I know for a fact you're gonna do what I need you to do. And you got members too, right? Check this out. Everybody's here for 2 reasons, right? Your daddy got on top of your mom and humped her and made you, right? Then you got the DNA. If your daddy's DNA made you a masseuse or made you a manicurist or made you an esthetician or made you a barber, listen to me, and I turn you into something that your people and your family admire, your daddy's sperm ain't got nothing to do with that.
That's nurture. That's that nature versus nurture. Yeah, you nurture it regardless of the nature. Yeah, no, that's real. That's real. The power of nurturance. That's the power of nurturance. Your daddy ain't got
nothing to do with it.
That's the power of nurturance. That's real.
So I might start you off at $150, $200, but you're going to earn that, boy.
Right.
I'm showing you everything in life. You're going to earn that. Because I can promise you, when you join the Crips or the Bloods or Latin Kings and you giving your life and your freedom up, they ain't paying you nothing. You're not going to
nothing.
I'm second in charge. When you start off in the military, you get basic pay until you become an E6 or E5. Then you go up.
Basic pay.
Right.
I ain't never seen a gangbanger on salary.
Yeah, ever. And see, this is the part that me and it's 2021. I want my people to be strong-minded, strong-willed, great health, and financially get themselves together because we need this, man. Our society is crumbling beneath us, man.
That's facts.
Yes.
That's facts.
And the thing is too, like, people understand, yeah, me and Tank's job is beautiful. We deal with more politics in that goddamn White House. Because we're in the business of coddling grown men's emotions, man. You don't know how many grown men get mad because they can't go on tour, because they can't go to the show, because they can't get tickets, because they couldn't go in the club, because they got to stand by the cars. Or, you know what, this time the boss needs 6 guys, he only want 1. You don't even understand that.
Yeah.
But then when me and Tank have jobs for people where you might sit in a hotel room for 2 weeks making $300 a day. Only thing you do is eat, sleep, shitting, and going to the gym. You don't even see the boss, so it's time to work. There's never a applause for that.
Right.
So you got to remember.
True.
This is the most
True. Say that. Say that.
The most scariest thing in life is a grown man that's not financially secure, because that nigga is Judas times 20. I ain't putting no color on him. He's Judas, man, because what he gonna do? He's gonna envy what you got.
Yep. Ain't gonna try to destroy it. Ain't gonna try to destroy it.
There was a wrestler named Kevin Nash. He said the realest shit. I've been with my baby's mom, white child, for 30 years. You know why? Because she don't come to no shows. She don't do anything. But when I come home, we're family. I don't want her around my business. She don't come around his business, because this business is a cesspool. You got to remember, the more me and Tank make ourselves personal with people, the more they think they got a power of our weakness. Because our families and our children and even our pets, we're human with them.
Right.
When people see a machine has a human side, if they can't hurt the machine, what they do? Try to hurt the family side. You got rumors. You got lies. Listen, your family, your wife, your girlfriend, your baby's mom has to be your significant other, your side bitch. They the ones that got to be stronger than me. They the ones got to be stronger than you, because they gonna have all the rumors, all the bullshit. Then on top of that, you got to remember, this job, in order to maintain a perfect household, there's got to be trust, because we're boots gone 365 days out of the year. We might be gone
half that, more than half that. Yeah, exactly, more than half that.
Facts.
So when you go, when you're going on the road, your significant other has to hold it down. There's got to be a trust. There's got to be some type of, there's got to be somebody who's going to hold the fort down. There's going to be somebody, one day the dishwasher's going to get broke. One day the kid's going to fuck up in school. The car needs an oil change. She missed to fucking take the trash out. The cell phone bill was late. She spent the cell phone money to get her hair done. So you're watching somebody's life, but we still have a normal life.
That's right.
So you got to remember, you got to have an A+ all the way across the board. When it comes to home, you got to be a valedictorian. When it comes to being a bodyguard, you got to be God. You got to be exceptional.
Straight up.
You got to. You cannot be security and have a piss poor home life, because it's cancer will eat you. The home and your job have got to be perfect all the way around. Now, we both know nothing's perfect in this world, but you got to damn sure make sure it's good.
That you're aiming at it. That you're at least aiming at perfection.
And whoever you call in your significant other, you got to make sure, if you're gay or you're straight, whoever you lay with, they got to be same page as you. Right. They got to be team, I'm with my guy. Right. Or I'm with my whatever, with my girl, whatever this case is. That's how it's got to be, man. Yeah. Because you got a lot of good bodyguards to go on that road. And believe you me and Tank done seen them. That goddamn, it's like them letters when you in prison. Them goddamn Dear John letters. Oh, your friends told me you was at the club talking to Brenda. You can't work 17 hours and worry about somebody coming to your back door.
That's real.
Say that again.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't do it. If you worried about home life, you are not worried about the field.
Right.
Period. And that's the motto we've always said. The number one, the best interest of a client is making sure the last thing a man has to worry about in the field
his family.
Is his family.
Is his family.
And his bills.
Because you cannot, listen to me, you could be Chris Kyle, Nicholas Urban, Cole Snipers. If your home life ain't straight and that call come home, motherfucker, you on the road, you ain't take care of us, you love your job better than us. As a man with a heart, that will kill you.
Yep.
Or Tank knows just the one phone call that will make motherfucking Goliath drop to a knee. Daddy, when you coming home? You don't miss me, do you? Nigga, you'll walk from here to Cairo, to Egypt to go see your kids. So you got to make sure everything is better. And you got to have a boss that respects the fact you got a family.
That's real.
So
wisdom has been dropped on this episode.
This job is more than a black t-shirt walking behind somebody. This is what grown men have to deal with.
Yeah. Listen.
How many people in this country, they've been deployed to Iraq, Afghanistan, in Middle East, Africa, and their wife slinging more pussy than Domino's sell pizza.
Damn. That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
Yo, man. You dropped them jewels tonight, man.
Jewels. Oh my God, Jay, man.
I
just
appreciate
the wisdom. I never really had the opportunity to have this close of a conversation and hear the jewels that you bestow.
Man.
Mixed with actual stories that actually teach perfectly what it is that you're trying to say.
Yeah. This is a lesson.
Beautiful, man.
For everybody out there, man. You just got a chance of a lifetime right now listening to this conversation.
I tell everybody, man.
Right.
A strong man has a strong woman beside him. Just team him. Yeah, she might like your boss's music, but she know who she got with her.
Facts.
And that's the key to success.
Facts.
If you have a great family structure, you will succeed in anything in life.
That's facts. That's fact. And you could always tell.
If you have a great family structure, you will succeed at anything in life.
Yeah, if your significant other...
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful affirmation.
If whoever you with is more concerned about who you work for than you got a problem.
That's a problem. Right.
You got a problem. If whoever you with is more concerned about where you going and who gonna be there.
Because trust is a real thing. Like when you think of trust in the relationship of loyalty, right? Because trust is generally coupled with loyalty.
Right.
So if the agreement with the loyalty is straight, then generally the trust is there. It's like, no, do I feel like this person is an honest, just person and they're gonna be loyal to the things that they said? Yes, I do.
I mean, the greatest test. Jay knows this. Clients hated our guts because the people who came around didn't give a fuck about them.
At all.
I mean, you would literally see clients that be like, damn, like nobody he's with really cares about me. Like they don't give a fuck. Like they're literally here for him.
Right.
And that's the greatest expression of loyalty.
I got one better for you. One day, we came out the gym, right? Because there's one client, Tank would train him on box, not train him on lifting weights, right? And the client said to Tank, right? This before I had my little prince. Why don't you bring your family to the house, then come swim in the pool? And Tank said, why would I do that? I'm here to work for you. My kids want to go swimming. They go swimming home in their pool.
Facts.
You know what the client said? I had to pick his tongue up, put in his mouth, because he wasn't used to that.
That's right.
Right.
Because any opportunity others would take
to get closer to cross over the professional personal line.
And we always believed our skill at what we do. Our value is in our ability
That's
to do
the value added. It's not being around you.
Isn't that right?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Emotion. I don't need an emotional attachment to you.
Right.
Because we're good at what we do. That's the attachment enough.
That's
you just pay me for how good I am.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't need to bring a tether.
Yeah.
I don't need an emotional tether.
My family doesn't need to be enamored by such and such.
Exactly. I don't need a
they
child.
Know who daddy works for.
Exactly. I don't need a child to connect me to you for you to have some type of emotional attachment. Because that's what happens. You have a lot of dudes out in the field that are like, okay, well, he likes me. He likes my kids. He likes my wife. He wants me to, he likes them so much that he wants me to be able to take care of them. He's going to take care of me.
For the rest of my life. No.
Fuck out of here.
Right.
You should be good enough to where he wants to take care of you.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the
and then definitely not dependent on him actually deciding to take care of you for the rest of your life. Now you're dependent on him.
You're dependent.
You're a dependent.
And
you're not an employee, you're a dependent at that point.
Exactly.
And that's what I want people to take away from this conversation. I want people to take away from Jay and myself and the experience aspect. We ain't never put all our bones on one client.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Oh,
that's a contract. That's a deal. That's
exactly.
a deal. That's
exactly.
A deal.
As long as you need us, we're available.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
If you don't need this level of protection,
then
we'll go to somebody who does.
Who does, right.
Listen,
it's not personal.
There's no such thing as an unemployment line for a gunman.
Nope. You know this, right?
No such
thing.
You
know how a bear and a squirrel prepare for winter? A bear will go to sleep hungry. A squirrel will grab every nut, acorn, barley, and pack it, because that motherfucker going to live good through the wintertime.
Facts.
A bear's fat ass going to sleep his life away. A squirrel going to be eating daily. That's how me and Tank are. We got to do two things. We're going to ride on this yacht with you, or we're going to be the biggest pirates and take everything off this yacht. Because our families ain't going to suffer at all. They've already suffered enough with separation from us. But we're going to stockpile. We're going to save. We're going to learn how to balance. We're going to do stocks. We're going to do motherfucking CDs.
Real estate investment. That's what's coming down.
And our kids are going to have a motherfucking life insurance policy on them. If something die, they're going to be straight.
Straight up. Facts.
Yo, we gotta close it up, man.
I'm glad you said that at the end too. Yeah.
Plan on me come out there in March, brother.
It's a done deal, man.
Nice.
We here.
Brother.
We ain't going nowhere. I appreciate you calling in, man. I love you. And
too, man.
Next week we'll be out in the field. Yes, absolutely. 2021
is the year of the strong black fathers. All fathers, all men. Take care of your children. Take care of your household. Let your kingdom be straight where you go protect somebody else's kingdom.
Facts.
Affirmation. Yes.
Facts.
All right, brother.
Appreciate you, bro.
Peace, brother. Yes.
Always, brother. Love y'all.
Yes, sir.
Love you too, man. Peace. Man. That was legendary there, man. I can't do a recap, man. There's
jewels.
so many
jewels.
There's so many jewels. Just so many jewels.
So we're gonna hurry up. We're gonna wrap it up so I can get home before I get in trouble. So we'll close like I close every show. With all due praise and honor to the Most High, I worship thee through the divine image of my wives. Amen.
Peace.
Peace.